Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we are doing my Phoenix Suns recap of their offseason. And it definitely was I thought, way better than last year. I think this year they saw the errors in their ways. They went out, got a legit point guard. They went out and got more size in terms of having a legit center rotation. I'm a Drew Eubanks fan, but Yusuf Nurkic and Drew Eubanks, as much as I think people love to hate on both of them, they were two guys that if you're gonna have one of them, you had to have a different type of guy to like counteract their inefficiencies or their weaknesses. I think right now, Yusuf Nurkic, Mason Plumlee, Ighodaro, good rotation right there because it gives you a plethora of guys to play with, and Mason Plumlee is like he's not going to make too many mistakes. Yusuf Nurkic, good rebounder, offensive player. Iguodaro, I've said, could be the Trace Jackson Davis. They've kept the core together. Beal, Booker, Grayson Allen, Durant, and Nurkic. There's rumors that Tyus Jones, who they brought in, he basically misread his market, and it seems like he's taking a 1 year bet on himself deal, retest the market next year, and there's rumors that he could be the starter. Now, if he starts, does that mean Grayson Allen's the sixth man, or do you make Bradley Beal the sixth man? I think they do have to start Tyus Jones. I think they realize Beal and Booker as the backcourt. You need a legit guy as a table setter. They they have Josh Okogie. They got Royce O'Neale. They brought back up Bol Bol. They still have Nas Little. I like the drafting of Ryan Dunn. Damion Lee came back. I like that they have another point guard in Monte Morris, who I think is a solid backup point guard. Their three two-ways, Colin Gillespie, Ty Washington, which two really solid guards. Colin Gillespie legit could be a guy who could get converted and be actually a contributor. Same thing with Jalen Bridges. I really, really like Jalen Bridges. Now, looking at the rest of the team, they're currently with all they are in the second apron, if you guys didn't know that. And yeah, it's not beautiful money wise. Everybody, if you're a Suns fan, you obviously know that it's not the best thing monetarily. But what did they do this offseason specifically? Well, this offseason, they made a few moves, nothing too crazy. I also think the deal of EJ, did they waive EJ or did they keep EJ? I thought they were waiving him after the after the trade. I just want to confirm. So they're saying that he's still on the roster right here. I thought they had waived him, and now it's saying he has not been waived. So, ladies and gentlemen, EJ Liddell's still on the team. Now, which I do love EJ Liddell. He coming out, I said he is a very poor man's Paul Millsap, but he legit also could be a guy who could contribute. He didn't really play at all for the Pelicans last year. He tore his ACL, and the reason why they traded for EJ is because David Roddy was more expensive, and they saved a bunch of money, so much money. Now, I think from what I'm seeing is that EJ Liddell is likely going to be released, and he first off, he's a undersized 23 years old, former second round pick. He was a throw in for salary purpose. If he does make the team, he's a back end rotational player with zero expectations, and he's more than likely going to likely release him. Okay, that's what it was. The rumor was Suns are likely going to release him in order to free up a roster spot to pursue a point guard, and the Phoenix plan was to trade. That's why, because they signed Tyus Jones right after trading David Roddy for EJ. So EJ, because they already look at the roster of Beal, Booker, Allen, Durant, Nurkic is the starting lineup. Then I personally, dude, I really think either I'm going with Tyus Jones, Booker, and then either Grayson Allen or Beal is the other guy. Durant, Nurkic. Then you have Allen or Beal as the sixth man. Monte Morris, Royce O'Neale, Okogie, Mason Plumlee, Bol Bol, then Damion Lee, then Nas Little and Ryan Dunn, Oso Ighodaro. And if you look at this team, I think at that point you look at them and you're like, I would have to say that at that point, if the only reason you keep EJ is because you like his contract, and let's say Bol Bol or Damion Lee or Monte Morris suck, I guess you keep EJ. Because clearly EJ is fighting for a roster spot. Or you trade Nas Little for somebody to save money. Because if you were to trade, I do still think Nas Little is the guy if they're trying to trade. I know down the road they want to trade Josh Okogie, but right now the only guy, because it seems like they don't want to trade Jusuf Nurkic, even though I would have tried to trade Jusuf Nurkic for a different big. I think the only guy realistically is Nas Little, and they would try to trade him for a cheaper contract. Now, who's a said cheaper contract? I mean, again, I don't think they're going to go for a big now. And if they were going to go for a big, it would be like, oh, but you can't, they're in the second apron, so they literally cannot package aggregate contracts. So it'd have to be two separate moves. And with that being said, your thought is, okay, who would you trade Nas Little for? Maybe Ochai Agbaji, as he's in the final 2 years of his rookie deal, and you'd hope he's ready. And again, you're trying to just save money. Asante Alama, if you want some front court help, again, expiring deal, you get his restricted free agency. Outside of it, that I think it does become slim pickings, because you're maybe an Amir Coffee if he's available, a Duranch. Again, you're not trying to go for a big, but a Cam Thomas. But I don't think they need more guard scoring. I think a wing like Ochai, and Ochai's already a little small. So when you're not trying to get someone young like Ousmane Dieng, that's where it legitimately becomes difficult. Looking around, thinking, who makes Chris Duarte, but I don't like what I've heard about Chris Duarte internally. So it's really, it's slim pickings unless you want to go out there and get Javon Carter, Kenrick Williams, Dean Wade. None of those guys are really moving the needle, nor are you saving a ton of money at that point if you do deals like that. Legit, I think that's the other thing. So they probably wanted to move him, but going out and getting it, there just isn't really anybody to go out and get. That's the problem. And the ones that are available, how much more of an upgrade are they from Nas Little? And do they even fill a position of need? That's another problem. If you just look at the salaries, because you have to think they have to make less than Nas Little. But yeah, I thought it was a decent offseason. Let me hear your thoughts.